And good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 181 of New York Red Bulls Discussion Group, the podcast. I'm Garry Redmond here in my humble little home here in Harlem. We got a great show for you guys tonight, despite the fact that we did not, one out of the three teams that we follow lost, okay? We're going to be very, we're going to switch from being happy to being angry. We're going to talk about that. The 2-1 loss against Atlanta United. We're also going to be discussing what happened what happened in Sports Illustrated Stadium is Gotham FC. They're still hot, red hot, okay? They took on Kansas City Current. Ladies took care of business. They're on the top of the table, boys and girls. And, of course, Red Bull New York 2, they found their winning ways. Now they're 2 in a row, and they took on the younger division, of course, of Atlanta United. We'll speak about that after the break. Of course, our good friend Dan Feuerstein comes on to the channel tonight. He's going to drop some knowledge to all you kids, especially what's been going on with the New York Red Bulls and such, and of course, who he thinks, who should be getting the GOAT, the GOAT horns, and of course the laurels whenever it's said and done. Of course, as you know, the live show is being taken on right now. Of course, if you miss it, don't sweat it. You can always catch our rebroadcast on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, our home from the very beginning, Spotify.com. All of the shows are going to be uploaded after we sign off here on Wednesday morning for your listening and viewing pleasure. And while we're out, we wanted to make this show your show. As we always say this all the time, it is your show. So we work hard to become one of the best out there. So with that, we can use your help. Let us know what we're doing, okay? If we're good, we suck, and we need some changes here and there, let us know. We have an email address, rbdgthepodcast@gmail.com. That's rbdgthepodcast@gmail.com. So we always like to read your emails long after we sign off. And if you've been sending in the past, by all means, keep it coming. We really do enjoy that. And of course, there's a birthday going on today. So we want to say, first of all, happy birthday. Just a minute. Just one moment. I had to bring this back up again. It just had it here. To Andrew Juwan. Happy birthday, my brother. Hope you're out there enjoying this very special day with your family and, of course, your friends. And so we had a mixed weekend, okay? 2-team won, the Baddies won, Red Bulls lost. And we're going to talk about that incident with, of course, 2 of your stars. Of course, the stars of the show, the one and only Miguel Nunez, and, of course, Mr. Lanre, Bad Muster, the model. Gentlemen, good to see you guys. I was wishing that maybe it was in happier circumstances. Unfortunately, this is why we do what we do. For all you guys like seeing my living room, excuse the wide shot, I'm having some problems with the camera. So at least I got a nice little home. What can you say? So, Miguel,
beautiful.
Let's start with this, Miguel, because you and I talked about a little bit on the messenger about after the game started, and you didn't mince any words as usual. This is probably the reason why we love you so much. You said, and I quote, "We suck." So, tell us why we suck. You have the you have the floor, my brother.
Garry, it defies description how bad we suck. Is this like the 3rd or 4th time that we get to face the last place team and we lose? Come on, man. What the hell is going on? Does Mr. Bradley understand anything about defense? I'm gonna say that he does not. Because I watched his Red Bull 2 last season. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah, studio's falling.
Hold on.
I mean, Lanre, you basically saw the game from beginning and end, and I asked you guys to take a good look at basically what went wrong. I mean, started out great because everyone's going to see the highlights and stuff like that. Started out great, but then somewhere in the second half, something went wrong. And this is, this has been happening a lot. Okay. I mean, your thoughts on this, man?
It seems like every time they lose focus, even if they score an early goal and Forsberg had a rocket early on, that was very encouraging. Early, the first half was very promising. Second half, they just switched off at the wrong time. They lost concentration. And of course, they led into cheap goals. And again, they let a complete poverty team that's dead last in the standings beat them. And just like Philly started their great run of form against us, now all of a sudden they're going to NYCFC and beating them. Now who knows? Maybe Atlanta could start a crazy run of playoff push now too. So
let me
apparently, if you need to revive your season, just play against the Red Bulls.
Yeah,
just host the Red Bulls. You're good.
What was the? This is exactly what Miguel said.
Season or restart your season. Play the Red Bulls.
Yeah, I mean,
it's easy.
Come on,
three wins, 3 dubs.
Let me ask you guys a question. Okay, and I'm also going to ask all you people signing in. First of all, good evening and thanks for joining us. It's always Tom Potvin, of course. Kazulis, I forgot his first name. Damn, I mean, Billy. He came back from Greece. Hey man, that's Nicholas's territory. So I hope it was very nice out there. So
Garry, let me tell you something.
I got to see the Acropolis before I die. That's why I want to go out there. Go ahead, Miguel.
My sister actually just got back from
Garry,
Greece.
Let me tell you something. The finest football team the world has ever seen, the Arsenal, just got
we'll talk
player, Christozolis. Unbelievable, man.
That name is familiar, but we'll talk about him. We'll talk about your Arsenal in another bit.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's been so let's talk about the game before we lose our minds and stuff like that. I mean, I've always said I'm not angry about the the loss because hey, I pretty much chucked up this season was going to be not much else. We're going to have some small victories and the whole 9 yards, but. And truth be told, this is a team that, for on paper, doesn't look very much because this is probably the reason why I was giving Julian de Guzman his flowers. He was able to get somewhat of a competitive team that way on kickoff, and we know he hasn't done. That said, gentlemen, there are some things that are right in front of them that could be handled better, should be handled better, and I'm on the record. Yeah, I'm on the record saying that, okay, I'm not angry that we lost to Atlanta. I mean, we've been pretty much dominant against the entire series. It's the way we lost that has me very concerned and has me, a little bit bummed out. With that said, let's just simply go through the match recap, and then we're going to talk about heroes and GOATs when it's all said and done.
Pico stands over the ball for Atlanta United, a veteran presence in the attack. Latte Lart no longer with the club. He has gone off on loan in Germany. We're kicked off.
Always trying to interchange with one another.
Bazan's threaded it. It's a dummy into Dos Santos. Dos Santos early delivery. Forsberg spins. Forsberg can toe poke it. Falls to Dos Santos. Slide tackle. And given away again to Hall. Red Bulls the quickest to respond to every loose ball right now. Mehmeti to Forsberg! Right place, right time. Emil Forsberg buries it. Red Bull New York have a 1-0 lead early.
The ball is like a little pillow touch. And then the second one is in the back of the net.
To Hall. Hall to Mehmeti. Mehmeti gets it back to Forsberg. And it ripples into the side netting.
Close enough, but I'm not sure if Oyos took contact on the ball, if the defender got his foot there. Looked like it might have been the goalkeeper, and he does. That is a strong right hand. That's going in the back of the net. Is he offside? It's very, very close.
Tackle to Alonso. And all the way across to Baez. Opening up. Baez. Low, tempting ball. Moranchuk one time. Couldn't generate enough power or placement
actually changes the whole dynamic and fortune of your team.
Sanchez swerving ball, Almiron brave. Miguel Almiron has Pico inside. Miguel Almiron to Muyumba. How has he missed?
Lovely ball, here we go again.
It's a great win by Sanchez. Sanchez to Muyumba. Muyumba touches the byline. Moranchuk. Side netting. Atlanta United fine margins away from the equaliser. But now Jacob is going to have to play smart for a good half of football. Dos Santos will leave it. Ball will be swirled in. Oh, was Emil Forsberg going for goal alone? But Atlanta United able to turn it over. Instantly going forward to Miguel Almiron, who's got wrong side of the defence. Almiron, Miguel Almiron puts it wide. Horvath does enough to close the angle, and Miguel Almiron can't toe poke it home.
Miguel Almiron as he gets in behind. It's a lovely run. Love the passing behind as well. Goalkeeper hesitates slightly. It allows Almiron to get back there. He's closed down, but that last heavy contact on the ball invites Horvath out. And both players just so brave going in for this one.
They've definitely left the door open for Atlanta United. Cooper Sanchez, the US Youth International, goes forwards. Jacob drives it. Moranchuk touches. Muyumba. Muyumba! Wow! Tristan Muyumba, pure perfection with the finish. Atlanta United have equalised.
Of the highest order. Lovely little cutback, and I love this touch from Moranchuk, but nobody closes Muyumba down. He's got a couple of goals coming into this game, including one in that last game against Philly, but this is an absolute class finish. Top bin, absolutely nothing that Ethan Horvath can do about it. Take a bow.
We conversated about where maybe the headspace was of Tristan Muyumba for Atlanta United. Corner's taken short. Drop back in, Almiron services, back post for Pico! He scores! Fafa Pico re-energizes Mercedes-Benz. Atlanta United with the comeback, 2-1 leaders.
Fafa Pico, nobody follows the run. And all he does is redirect it towards goal. Ethan Horvath takes a bit of contact off his leg.
Nealis. Looking for the runner there as Hall weaving through traffic. Hall wrong foots the goalkeeper. Hoyos though stretches. That is some recovery by Hoyos in goal. Never mind. The final whistle blows. Atlanta United have won. Red Bull New York has always been difficult for them, but at last they're able to pick up 3 valuable points coming from behind.
Four primary assists of the season, a tie for the second most primary assists in the league by a player 21 years old or younger. Hall, he got his 5th assist, so he's got a point, for the match and his MLS career. So when you look at this, when you look at when it's all said and done, Miguel, I'm going to start with you. What basically you look at and go, okay, something's got to change. Is it the way that we're scoring or is it the way we're playing defense? Because it looked like it was a game of two halves. Can you hear me?
Well, you know what? Yeah. Wait. We good? Hello?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Can you hear us? I don't think you can hear us.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then... Not gonna hear you. Okay. Yeah. So then, those were like really bad goals to give up. I will say that the Rebels should have taken their chances earlier in the game. that kid, I think his name is Jimenez. It was like he should have scored. We should have been up 2-0. But the first Atlanta goal, Horvath couldn't do anything, but somebody should have stepped up. Okay,
my point,
instead of letting that guy Muyamba,
it was a layup basically.
He had all day to take a shot. He could have ordered Chinese food and taken a shot. Okay, that's how much time he had. Okay, and then
he's right.
That second goal was Horvath should have saved it. That's it. That's all there is to it. What can we say? And Garry, this is going back to what we were talking about earlier in the season. I think it's becoming true that the Rebels, every game they have to score 3 goals just to get something out of it. Okay, either a win or a draw. Okay, and
they don't score enough.
The Rebels can't keep that up.
Right?
It's unsustainable.
Last year with the Rebel too, Mr. Bradley.
But he had weapons.
Allow 3 goals in the back. They'll score 4 or 5. Okay,
but he had weapons.
That's how he went all the way to the championship game. Okay,
but on that team. He had
at that level, okay, right.
Weapons,
at this level, we don't have those weapons.
No, we don't.
Let me tell you something. That guy. Let me tell you something. Fafa Peacock, man. Okay?
He always hurts us.
That's a player I like.
I wanted him. I wanted.
You know how it is, man. When you was in Philly, man.
No matter what team he's on, it doesn't matter if he was here, LAFC or anything else. He always hurts us, okay, and he does it late, okay.
Right? Why aren't we in the conversation for getting a player like that within MLS?
Unfortunately, we don't. Rolodex is not that deep.
A player like that who couldn't even make Hades World Cup squad, bro. Bro, why are we?
Lanre, I know you had your head
right. That's what somebody said. Right?
That's what I said.
That's what you said. It's like Horvath. You say Horvath got to go.
Yeah.
How do we still continue to script set piece defense? This is the thing that's been driving people nuts and pulling out their hair. Okay, and I'm going to stick with you, Lanre, on this. It's basic stuff, right? It shouldn't be so complicated, but yet. Every game we see this. Every game we see the holes. Every game we see this mistakes. If you're a season ticket holder, you're practically saying, you know what, I'm not renewing this season. Why? Okay, you agree on this, or
I have not been a season ticket holder since we actually made MLS Cup in 2024. And this is why more and more people are giving up their season tickets year after year, because consistently this club has not shown a consistent ability to at least look optically like they care about actually putting a good team out there on the field that can compete for major trophies. This is probably the most starved fan base. If you consider the location that we're in, the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area, the greatest metropolitan area on the planet, and you consider just all the teasing that we have to go through within MLS and all that. Even my friends who are MLS fans but don't really care about the league that much, are very casual, like DC United fans or whatever, they're always making fun of me, because even though they haven't won anything since 2004, they have 4, and we still haven't gone on the board. We are no closer to even matching City, for God's sake. We are the most starved fan base in world sports, and yet this club is increasing. This ownership increasingly looks like it just does not care. Why is even Horvath still our keeper, man?
Well,
why are we making set piece defending mistakes that high school teams would have snuffed out by now? Why? Thank you, Nick. When is this club going to get honest with itself and actually commit to change?
Well,
it's so exhausting supporting this team. It really is.
If I may play devil's advocate here, we were a lot worse last year. We had our worst squad last year. Okay, a lot of the guys that were here last year are gone. That's the good news. The bad news is a lot of the guys that we probably need in defense, they're gone. Okay, so you have to take it on both sides. I mean, do I like what I see right now? Hell no. Okay,
Who does?
only because these mistakes by yourself can be remedied. But then we forget one very important thing. This is a young crew with a young coach. So although mistakes like we saw on Saturday are going to be a given, I hate to say this, every week it's like we see, just like always Miguel says, it's like every game it's a mistake waiting to happen. And when it does, things fall apart. On a good day, they're lights out. I mean, on a very good day, they're lights out. They're very good. There's nothing wrong with the offense. But when your defense is dropping goals, and we're going to talk about that in the second half, you're dropping goals left and right. They coughed up 41 goals to this point. 41. Okay? We haven't gotten that back during the 2009 season. Remember that one? Maybe the season, that was the season from hell. Okay?
Yeah.
Where every loss was guaranteed, and people would just simply scoring goals on us, like rain. Okay, everybody, this is what I tell people.
Garry.
Yeah, go ahead.
1999 and 2009.
Correct.
Okay?
Seasons of
I
hell.
lived through
Right.
both.
Yeah,
Okay?
we all did. All the OGs lived through those seasons through hell. Okay, when people walk up to you, this is the worst season ever, dude. Let me introduce. Introduce you to these two seasons. Watch these two seasons in entirety, and then come back to us. Okay, then you can tell. Despite
As
that.
a matter of fact.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, Garry, you know what? I'm thinking back to the 1999 season, and my friend Brian, who since retired, he moved down to Florida, and he said, like, you know what? We would show up, and we knew they were going to lose.
Right.
Okay. And I didn't miss a game that year. I did not miss a game.
Most of us didn't. No, most of us didn't. 99 hurt. Okay? Hurt.
I don't remember. I was
like
3.
99, 99 was like watching your friend going into bar fights knowing he was going to get his tail kicked in. Okay? It was nothing you could do about it. That's how bad it was. And I compare that to this year's squad. Although it's not that bad as 99. 99 is like, but there has to be, a moment of introspection and go, okay, we know what's not going to work. We need to change things. Okay, we need to go all in, and we need to tell our fans, look, next season we're going to start the ascendancy. But right now, that's what fans are waiting for. Fans are, if there's one thing these supporters want, they want to be excited. They want to talk about this team. They want to be, able to walk around with your gear, not in shame. Okay, right now, as soon as the game is over, they throw that, right, Lanre, they throw that away. They're like, nah, I better be caught wearing this, this logo. Otherwise, I just might get beat up like I do in high school. I mean, this.
Let's go to the Bronx or Queens.
Yeah,
for a darty match, maybe.
No, I mean, let them try. I got friends. If somebody put their hands on me, but Billy said it right. Leipzig and Salzburg get players that they can flip and generate money. Meanwhile, we get low-level international prospects. Are you under 22 spots are being wasted for is bizarre. You know what? I can't argue against that, Bill. I can't, because one, what you just said is the truth. Okay, each club is independent of its own. Okay, Leipzig does things differently. Of course, they're the big dog in the chain. Salzburg, remember, they were owning the league that they went in until one of our ex-coaches went up there, messed up, and they got himself fired. Okay, so they got to start the string all over again. And Bragantino's Bragantino, but they're playing against the big dogs in Brazil. Okay, so are we, are we in the bottom of the food chain as far as the Red Bull football hierarchy is concerned? Perhaps, but it all depends on who's running that franchise, not necessarily who owns it. And so, what I want to be, hey, Marcel, how you doing?
Hey, Marcel, how are you?
So I want to be able to say, you know what? When people tell me the ownership sucks, I get it. Okay. There's not too many franchises that's owned by a conglomerate. Okay. When you're a conglomerate, if for someone who's been working in the corporate game for a long time, half my lifetime, as a matter of fact, things get lost. Things get lost in translation. I mean, sometimes I wish that the people in the front office were our owners. I think you would see something a little different. You wouldn't have to ask permission to sign players. You wouldn't have to ask permission, to build up your squad. Would we be still playing? Would we be playing in Sports Illustrated Stadium? I don't know, Miguel. Not really. I mean, but then again, if we exchange that for a winning team year after year and playing over in MetLife, I take it. How about you?
You want to play in that the stadium?
Let's think about this, okay? We had a local ownership, not exactly deep pockets, okay? But instead of building and buying our own stadium, we'd be like New England. We'd be sitting over in MetLife. But we'd be fighting for a championship every year. Would you take that over what we have right now? Miguel, I'm going to start with you.
Garry, you know what? Garry, I'm going to tell you, as a matter of fact, I want to start off with a question that LB93 asked, if 99 was worse than 09.
That's me.
It was pretty bad. 99 Red Bull was not in charge, okay?
No.
Red Bull didn't come into 2007, if I remember correctly.
2006.
But
2006.
in regards to us still playing, what? What'd you say?
2006. 2006 is when Red Bull bought the Metro Stars.
Okay, six, okay.
06.
Yeah. Okay, so then, if I'm not mistaken, that our stadium in Harrison was being built, okay, already, and
it was.
The team was like owned by the people who own like the franchises afloat, including ours. Okay.
Okay.
That stadium was being built. However, it was to be like one of the cutter stadiums like they had at Dallas Burn
your internet
or FC Dallas has turned out gold. Okay. But if I'm not mistaken, what happened, Red Bull came in, they wanted to have a franchise in New York City, but the league strong-armed them into putting their money into the Metro Stars, which they changed to Red Bulls, which at the time that it happened, I was like, wow, now it's going to happen. They're going to put some money in. We're going to win. Okay, how wrong was I, Garry? Okay, how wrong was I, Lanre?
Huh? I'm gonna say
so
this.
Far, yes.
I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on to our next segment. Miguel will be right back. He's having some technical difficulties. Lanre, basically, we've known this. Okay. We can talk about, throughout this history, okay, this franchise has been snake bit by owners who, quite frankly, didn't have a clue. Okay, they meant well.
Yep.
Okay, they meant well, they did okay, but they didn't, they brought in big name players. They brought in competitive teams. They brought in, great seasons, but we never made it over the hump. Probably the reason why, Red Bull, is getting a lot of scrutiny is because they've had recent success. However, we've only had 2 appearances to MLS Cup final to show for it. Okay, and both
of them were as like Cinderella runs. Every time we've actually had a good regular season team, we've never made the final. It's
correct.
crazy.
We haven't had, we really haven't. The only season we had that came close was with Jesse Marsh. We were steamrolling the living daylights. Okay,
2018, man.
I mean, what a team they had. We had probably one of the best seasons. I mean, we never had a coach of the year. Jesse Marshall was the first Red Bull Metro Stars coach of the year because he did such a great job. Unfortunately, 1 year after that, he had greener pastures, and he went off to Europe, and I will never forgive him for that. Okay,
It was in the middle of the season. If he stays, we win MLS Cup pretty easily, I'd like to think.
I'll come damn close to it. I mean,
At least, oh God.
The only team in my honest opinion that was standing in the way is the team we lost to, and that was Atlanta, who was right behind us. Okay,
We would have. I believe we would have beaten them. To be honest, with
ifs,
Jesse
ands,
Marsh.
buts, and candied and nuts, but that's why they give it out on Christmas. I mean, the story. We lost, and that was the end of it. We haven't been since. I mean, fans have been tired of for a very long time. They're tired of, cameo appearances in the playoffs. What was it? We was one and done for a while, a long one. That people got tired of that. Okay,
Very tired. I bawled when we beat Columbus in 2024 because we finally got past the first round for the first time since I was in college. 2018 was my senior year in college when we made the conference final and won the Supporters Shield. And we had but between that and 2024, we lost in the first round every year. When we finally beat Columbus on penalties,
I believe
to sweep.
I mean,
I cried. I couldn't believe it.
I mean, I could be fitted for a rubber jacket for saying the following. It's going to happen. I mean, probably, hopefully, when I'm like be able to be alive when I see it. But
you need fuzzy socks, sir. You and I both need fuzzy socks.
But
and
if I waited,
cushioned walls.
I mean, if I waited, I'm going to say this before we go into our break. If I waited this long for my beloved Knicks to win the championship, hey, okay, I'm always in sports. No team sucks forever. No bad team sucks forever. Everybody said the Cubs would never win the championship. Well, what happened? Cubs won. Everybody said the Red Sox would never win the championship. The Yankees were going to dominate. Well, Red Sox beat the Yankees on their way to winning a championship. So it can happen. Yeah, even the Jets. Okay, so fans are frustrated.
Very highly doubt that.
I mean,
very highly doubt that.
It would have to take in that situation with those squads and those franchises. It would have to take a lightning in the bottle situation, but it will happen. When that happens, I don't know. We're going to take ourselves a very quick break. When we return, the one and only Dan Feuerstein. And he's been warming up, boy, because he's got some issues to basically discuss about this team, and he's seen the weekend just like you guys have, and to say that he's not too happy is putting it kind of mild. We'll be back here in 60 seconds. Daniel Feuerstein is in his nice little castle over Coastal in Florida. And before we get underway, Lanre has a couple of games we wanted to preview, starting with the one that's now suddenly become a must-win against a very, very good team, Nashville SC. Mr. Badmus, you have the floor, good sir.
Okay, so Wednesday we are facing Nashville SC. We are hosting them here at Red Bull Arena. It's a 7:30 kickoff, and all of a sudden Nashville.
That's $20, Lanre. That's $20.
I will never call it
You now owe $20
over my dead friggin' body. I will never call it Sports Illustrated Stadium in my entire life.
I know.
Never.
Pay up, big
never.
boy. Pay up.
Oh, man.
All right, please continue.
Yes. So Nashville SC, for those who maybe don't watch the standings as pertinently as I, are the number one team in the league. They lead the Eastern Conference. They're 5 points ahead of Inter Miami, 13 wins, 4 draws, and 2 losses. They have conceded only 15 goals, which is the least in the entire league, and they have come leaps and bounds, really leaps and bounds over where they have been the last few years. And this is a team where, like, finally it feels like everything is coming together. You got Sam Sturridge, the big striker from England. You know, he's had a couple lay years here, but really, when he first got here, he kind of struggled out the gate. But since then, 2024, 2025, he's really hit his stride. He had 31 goals in all competitions last year, 25 in MLS. And right now he's got 14 goals and 20 appearances in all competitions, 12 in the league. We got Henny Mukhtar, has always been super dangerous, 8 goals and 4 assists from him. Cristian Espinoza, the winger from Argentina, formerly of San Jose and Boca Juniors, among others. 3 goals, 7 assists from the wing for him. And they also have Brian Schwake, young American keeper. His first year as a starter. He's been very key for them. And this is the kind of team that you don't want to go into a game against them on a losing streak or having just lost to the worst team, the bottom team in the conference, like Atlanta United. But, you know, this is the New York Red Bulls. They have a lot of players who can hurt us. I think Wang and up top, I think they could be very, very dangerous. Obviously, Mukhtar and Sturridge is a wonderful strike partnership. And it seems like it really seems like their coach, BJ Callahan, former interim coach of the USMNT, has really struck the right balance for this team, and they're firing on all cylinders. And this is a team that is, quite frankly, scary to have to host them at Red Bull Arena. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. You know, football's never played on paper. Well, as long as players are breathing, we have a chance. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and with everything going on, of course, Bradley faced the media, today, and I'm sure the question came up about going up against Nashville, especially after what happened in Atlanta. Do you feel that this is a must-win for the Red Bulls for Wednesday, and not? I mean, they're going to be in one hell of a gauntlet. I'm going to talk about that in about a second, but they need to win. They need to, they need to make a statement, and this is it. They're going to have to. Do you feel that way?
Garry, right now, all games are must win, and at this point in time, if MLS wasn't the way MLS is, this team would already be below the playoff line. They would already probably be 12th, 13th, 14th in the Eastern Conference. I mean, to be fair here, and I'm trying to be as fair as possible, but let's just be honest with ourselves, They have right now 25 points. How they still have 25 points is beyond me. DC right now is a point behind them. And if the season ended today, Red Bulls are hosting DC at Sports Illustrated Stadium over at the Wild Card. Over at the Wild Card.
Cathedral. How about that? The Cathedral.
I'll take that too. Yep, that counts as well.
Or the Fortress.
The Cathedral do this one.
And for NYCFC to have a 2-0 lead, lose it 3-2 at home to the Union, who are now out of the basement. They're in 13th place. They're climbing up the ladder. They're only a point behind both the Crew and Toronto. They are 2 points behind Orlando. They are 5 points behind DC and 6 behind us. And we got to face the Union next Saturday after Nashville this Wednesday and Chicago this coming Saturday. So right now, I don't feel comfortable with this Red Bull team as they are. I mean, let's be honest. You know JJ Pavlik, my managing editor, the boss of and the owner of Bad Dawg Sports. He expected them to get destroyed by Orlando 2 weeks ago, and that didn't happen. And they basically blitzed Orlando again, just like they did to them in the season opener all the way back in February, where you and I were at Inter Stadium, Gary. Mm-hmm. That was another shocking result against an Orlando team that was, let's be honest, you get a guy like Antonio Griezmann on your roster, yes, he can make a difference. Was he a difference then? No. But he can still be a difference.
Yeah, he's quality. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Miguel, we're looking at a gauntlet here, and if you look at the schedule ahead of us, after Nashville, you got Chicago, which Lanre is going to talk about that in a second. Philly, then to go out on the road, Seattle, LAFC, Columbus, and then NYC. That is 7 games in 27 days. My goodness. That's one hell of a gauntlet against really top teams that can pass you if you're not careful. So, Miguel, if you're looking at the schedule, you're looking at the team, do you agree with Daniel as far as you don't have a lot of confidence of getting a running record out of all this?
I think Miguel froze again.
Yeah, he froze.
Yep, he froze. Okay, well, let me just say this, and
I don't think
Miguel comes back.
Gary,
okay, there he is. Okay, go ahead, Miguel. Sorry.
No.
We apologize for the technical difficulties, boys and girls. We're having internet issues. Go ahead, Miguel.
Yeah, I'm a pessimist at this point, Gary, with this team.
Yeah, he froze again. All right.
That's the wireless.
I'm really a pessimist at this point.
And froze again.
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, let me just say this: if you're pessimistic about this Red Bull team right now, you have every right to be. You have every right to feel like this, because while there are some good players on this team, and they have shined before. Right now, there are issues. There are very, very big issues. Defense, lack of concentration here and there, goalkeeping, and urgency when you're behind. Because right now, and look, we understand what they're trying to do. I understand what they're trying to do. But, as I've said in the past, when you're the New York Yankees, you have the best prospects in all of Major League Baseball. But you have to I'm sorry if you're a Met fan, I apologize, but it's the truth. Anyway, but what I'm saying is this. When you have the best prospects in Major League Baseball, you still have to combine that with some of the best veteran talent in the game. That's what you need to do. And yes, I understand Michael Bradley. This is his first year at the senior level of MLS, of American soccer. I understand that. But look, this is what you're going to get. And it's not just for one season. This is for the long haul. Until the results are not where they should be after. Look, you're not going to sack him after a year unless he decides to quit. And that's not going to happen either. He's not going to get sacked, and he's not going to quit. He has to have. You're going to have to give him an opportunity, and somewhere. And yes, he got that opportunity for half a season at the 2 team at MLS Next Pro last season. Should he have been the head coach for this season? Who was going to come over here? Who was in the pipeline? Who was available to come over and take over this club?
I did make a suggestion, for Curtin, I mean, I did make that suggestion and say, hey,
I did
reach
too.
out.
I think we all did.
I mean, I said, reach out to them, let them know that, okay, we're going to be developing young kids, but I'm sure Curtin will have some ideas of his own. Okay?
Probably would.
You know, I don't know if they even reached out to him or even spoken to him. But that when word was circulating that Bradley was going to be the head guy, I just said, oh, okay. I felt I didn't have a problem with his hire. I just had a problem with the timing of it. I just felt that maybe he should have been there for maybe one more year down the 2 team, and then bring him up. That would have been okay. Yeah. But Curtin wouldn't have made him a contender, but it would have made a better record than we are right now, because the man's a teacher. And he knows how to build a winner, and who knows? Some of the guys over in the Union may even flock over to the Red Bulls because he does have that following. Okay, so I don't know, why they made that choice, but they made the choice, and that'd be that'd be the end of it. I'm just gonna say, one thing, Mr. Jimenez, he is doing a good job developing talent. And I'll back Bradley to the hilt as well, okay? But the higher-ups want to develop and talent, sell them. Okay, well, let me just ask you this, okay? Would you sell the players that you have right now? I don't think so. I mean, you take one look at these guys, like, with the exception of Hall, they're not ready. They're just simply not ready. So, I mean, I don't, and as far as being a feeder club, I hate to say this. If your club, if it's not in the league, one of the big 6, Mr. Jimenez, you're a feeder club. Okay?
I mean, let's be truthful about it. I mean, everyone right now, every young player in MLS right now is considered a feeder club. We are feeding the clubs in the big leagues in Europe. They could also go to South America if they want to, even though it's probably not as glamorous as it is in Europe. But the truth is, we are a feeder club right now. Correct. This has only been a 30-year league right now. We are not in the upper echelons of where Europe has been for many, many years and decades and centuries. I'm sorry. No. Europe is at least 20 to 30 million steps ahead of where we are. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the truth is we still have to play catch up here.
But may I interject something here? And Miguel, Lanre, please interrupt me if I steer myself wrong. This is why, I mean, for every American kid who does want to play in the big leagues, okay, who does want to go up there and and shine, most of these guys sit on the benches. They usually never see the field, okay? Up there, they ain't got time for tryouts. You either are exceptional by the time you hit the pitch, or you go right down to the second or third team, okay? At that point, if I'm Red Bull, if I'm starving for talent, that's what I'm going to be hitting at. I'm like, okay, tell you what, you didn't make it over to Europe. How about making it our squad? I'm going to pay you, pay you top dollar, see what you can name, or better yet, use our team to showcase your talents and go back to Europe. I'm in the belief of another man's trash is another man's treasure. I mean, I even said this to De Guzman. I said, hey, look, don't turn your nose up at some of these guys over in USL. They're balling for a paycheck, okay? They're balling for a contract. So take a look at those guys. There's got to be at least top 10% of those guys are either going to be sold or move on. Grab those guys for the next level.
And at the same time, Garry, you got to make sure you have a head coach that wants American players on their team, because how many times have we seen our guys? And of course, Clint Dempsey is a great example, and even Weston McKennie is a great example. How many times has Clint Dempsey, when he made the move to England to play for Fulham, he was managed under 2 to 3 different head coaches, and they still barely used him because they didn't believe in him until he had to force his way on as a starter. The same thing at Juventus for Weston McKennie. Yeah, they brought him over, but how many managers have they gone through, and he still had to continue to prove himself when everyone's saying McKennie's the odd man out, and when he proved himself, then they trusted him. So, I mean,
it can go either way.
It could go either way. I mean, look what happened to Clint Mathis a long time ago. He could have, been a great player at Hanover, but he got screwed because when the coach got changed, And, he was barely used. The next thing he finally uses him. Then, of course, this happened when he scored the goal afterwards. He does this to his manager. You should have put me in sooner. And what happened?
You got
Never played again.
Yeah, you got pissy and sent them home, and that was basically it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand why folks would, have an issue with Major League Soccer because it's considered to be an unserious league. Hey, we don't have pro rel. Okay, fine. We don't have that. I want it. Miguel wants it. Most people want it. But I'm not going to go into the whys and why not. But I'm talking about the players themselves. Red Bull are in a paradox at this moment. Okay, They need better talent. There's ways to get it. Okay,
yes.
There's ways to get it. I mean, where I take them to task is other teams have no problem getting player ballers that they need to supplement their squads. What's your excuse? I mean, I don't want this to be a second coming where we're only going to bring up the guys on Red Bull 2. Great. But don't expect the teams to be for competitive or trying to win a championship with them. Unless you catch lightning in the bottle. That's not going to happen. Okay?
No.
I've always begged this club to do one thing, just one thing. Build a strong team from bench to pitch and see what happens.
Exactly.
Okay? Do exactly what Philly did. You look at Philly. You see the superstars in their roster? You see any big names in their roster? No. What you see is a solid team. Okay? And even on their off days, they were starting off at the bottom of the table, but look, they're coming. They're coming. Okay?
Yeah.
And they're going to be a pain. Not now, but probably I would really be nervous if I got to face those dudes, okay, in a playing game. Okay? We haven't beaten them in nearly 8 years.
No, we beat them last year. We beat them last year.
Last year. We haven't beat those guys down there. I'm talking about down in Chester.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They should have beaten them on the way back from the World Cup, but they didn't do that. They couldn't do that.
I don't think it's ever going to happen again. If it couldn't happen this year, when the Union have been at their worst, I don't think it's ever going to happen. It just can't. It's just one of those things that's ordained by God to never happen again.
No, exactly.
I just don't get it.
No, and look what they did. The Union, they sacked Bradley Carnell. I would say maybe maybe a little too early, but then again, they sacked him and they brought up the 2-team head coach and Ryan Richter, and look what he's done all of a sudden. He said, look, we're going to go back to our roots. We're going to go back to what the Union's has always been about. You learned everything from Jim Curtin, and now it's basically Curtin ball all over again, but it's Ryan Richter's ball.
Right. I mean, you got somebody who's basically a member of his staff, and they're flourishing. Okay, but it goes back to what all of us have been saying, even Miguel. It was, if you're going to get better talent, for goodness sake, look in your backyard. Okay, and I don't mean Red Bull 2. I mean the idea that you can't find ballers all over the place has my head scratching. Something. When you want to talk about a team that's playing great soccer, unfortunately, what if I told you that Gotham FC would be the hottest team of all of soccer in the metropolitan area? But that's what they've done. They've won 8 straight. Okay, they knocked off Kansas City Current 2-1. Person 13 minutes Current, and after they gave up a goal from White, 2nd minute in. Okay, these ladies did not panic. They just simply ate. They just simply ate their spinach and turned around and beat those guys. And now they are at the top of the league. They are 7 points clear. Okay, they're well aware, right? Well ahead. Their their next rival, which happens to be the Washington Spirit. Okay, so they're doing well, boys. They're doing. I mean, remember back in the day, Lanre, Miguel. We used to worry about Gotham FC starting out slow and then just eking the playoffs and then creating havoc, winning a championship. It's all like, but no, they put their foot on the gas. Okay, after they did their Champions Cup and won it, by the way, they got their Champions Cup title, and they haven't slowed down since. Instead of what's going on with Gotham FC, why aren't more people watching Gotham FC? Because last time I was there, they look good. They look pretty damn good. Meanwhile, also some good news, of course, in the lower circuit. Speaking about Red Bull New York 2, they did something that the senior team didn't do, and that was beat Atlanta, okay, by a score of 2-1. Gallagher in the 41st minute, Rojas in the third, the 3 minutes into stoppage time got a penalty. Civolo got the only one goal, and right now they're moving up a little bit as well. Hold on for 1 second there. I can tell you who, my notes just simply died right now. Okay. Well, as I said, Gotham is in front. They got 7 points clear. New York Red Bull 2, unfortunately, they are still in the hunt, but now they're in 5th. Okay. They got 38 points. They are basically 10 points behind Crown Legacy, who walked into the campus and spanked them hard. But they're in the playoffs. If the playoffs started today, they'd be on the road, boys and girls. And unlike unlike us in the Major League Soccer, who like to lengthen things like this, they're one and done. But their next game is this Sunday, it's Sunday. So, this is a very good point. Hold on for 1 second, and this guy's right. Gotham doesn't give up goals. 13 goals allowed in 20 games. 13. That's a very good defensive crew. Okay, so for them to give up a goal very early, that's why they didn't panic. They were like, okay, you got your goal. Then they ate their spinach and scored the next one. Could have had 3, but one was taken away by VAR. So, unfortunately, a lot of soccer fans have misogynistic point of view, and they see the women's game as less than. Not what I've been seeing this season. 41,000 showed up at Citi Field. Okay, 41K. Even though some of the tickets were giveaways, people showed up and sold out. Okay, the only problem is that, as we all know, our little stadium, of course, in Harrison is a little tough to get to if you're coming from the New York area. So, Chicago coming in. I don't know if Nadowski is going to be starting, but I'm sure everyone, Poland's favorite son, is going to be showing up, and so will everyone else. You're talking about Wednesday. You're talking about Saturday. Let's go through. Running on a show. Miguel, I'm going to start with you first. We got 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 ties. What are you looking at?
He froze again?
No, he's live.
Yeah, I wouldn't predict losses until further notice, Garry. Okay?
Wow.
So 2
Wow.
L's.
Wow. I mean, just like that. Just get it over. So at least one way you're covered. I can't be wrong. You can't be wrong. One question.
If we're lucky, we can get a point.
Okay, I'll let that go. Lanre, you saw both teams. You did a deep dive on both of them against this crew. You see wins or you see losses? You see draws?
I actually didn't even get to talk about Chicago, really. But
yeah.
I mentioned with Chicago on Saturday. Lost against Nashville, probably 2-0. Mm-hmm. Maybe a 1-1 draw against Chicago. Mm. So I'll be slightly more optimistic than Miggy. I'll give us 1 point for the week.
I believe they got rid of Cyprus, right? So they got rid of Cyprus, who killed
Calpers. Because they have Lewandowski. Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Who killed
okay.
Right.
So,
New York.
You're right. It's over. No, it's over. It's over. It's over.
Who killed New York? I mean, the man's certified, he murders New York whenever he gets a chance. A goal a game from this dude, okay? Daniel, you have the last word.
My last word is this. I mean, look, I think Nashville's too strong. I think the Red Bulls will probably lose on Wednesday. I'm going to go with Lanre. I think they could edge a draw here against Chicago. I think that would be a good result for them if they get a draw. Because right now Lewandowski is, it's a great player. So he'll definitely do some damage. But I think the Red Bulls will go to the task. They'll be up for the task against Chicago. I think they're going to get at least a point out of it at home. Do I also expect them to lose against Chicago? Yes. Right now they got to be better on the defensive end. And I think you were going to ask me another question. You're going to ask me what did I believe are my heroes and goats for this Red Bull team.
Yep, go ahead.
Well, right now it's really simple for the heroes. I would have to go with Julian Hall. I would have to go with Audrey Mehmeti. I would definitely also go with Jorge Ruvalcaba. Because right now those three are doing damn good right now. I know it's a bit of a slump at the moment on the goal scoring department for both those players, for Ruvalcaba and for Julian Hall. But the reality is this. Did we expect 7 goals out of Ruvalcaba? I didn't think so. Did we expect Julian Hall to explode the way he has to start the season? I wasn't expecting it. So right now, that's the GOATs. That's the heroes for the Red Bulls. For the GOATs, right now it's the back line. It's the back line that are the GOATs. And I would also have to...
And that includes Michael Chi?
No, not Chi. Chi's been okay.
Justin Chi.
Justin Che. It's Che. Justin Che. Justin's been good, actually. Justin's been good, but it's the other parts of the back line that's been a problem. I mean, look, as good as Matthew Dos Santos has been, he's still a little undersized, and you can tell he's been overwhelmed at times.
Oh yeah.
So give him a full season, and then hopefully next year he'll be more improved. Dylan's been good, but Dylan's had his moments as well. So let's be truthful about it. He's had his moments as well.
Yep.
Bazan has really done some good things, but he's had a bit of a hiccup here and there as well. So right now, I would say the GOATs are the back line, and also I would also have to add Horvath. I mean, there's times he's been okay, but most of the time, we've talked about it, Gary. Footwork's been atrocious. And when you think he should have stopped something, he didn't.
Right.
And both goals against Atlanta, I'm not going to fault him for the Muyumba free kick because you can't stop that one.
No, that was on the defense. They left
that's
that
on
man,
the defense.
Right.
And while I know
ordered Chinese food before he kicked that ball.
Miguel wants to call it Chinese food. I could have called Chinese food Pizza Hut and some tacos. Okay, that's how bad that goal was. I mean, look, I can't. I'll give some faults to Horvath, but in reality, it's also the defense's fault because no one tracked Pico, no one tracked him. So it's a combination of both there.
Yeah. I mean, this is when you have somebody who can get from one end to the pitch to the other unmarked and get the ball in. That's on the defense. I mean, that was just bad. But that's something we've been seeing all year long.
Yep.
For me, out of these 2 games, I think we're going to get just 1 point out of it. To be honest.
Yep.
Okay. No. And for all the reasons defensively you, Miguel, Lanre have spoken about this. It's a defense by committee. Okay, it's just something that bothers me a lot because you're not sold on the guys you have. You got one guy that's doing well, but he can't be there by himself. Okay, can't do it alone by himself. Shea has been a to me a revelation, but everybody else. I'm not exactly sold on Dos Santos. As much as I like him, I would like him to, put him back on Red Bull 2. He's just simply too small. He gets bullied off the ball too much, okay? And his set-piece game is horrible. I don't know who, the thing that bothers me about it is he was better at Red Bull 2, maybe because he had guys his size or whatever the case may be. He used to deliver the balls in the box better.
Or maybe he's just not ready for this level yet. That could be also
right. That could be it. That was it. But once he got here, he fell off. Okay, and I agree with you, Mr. Jimenez. We got nothing to lose at this point. We did say early in the year that this was going to be a rebuilding year, but many fans are yelling and screaming, okay, why we're doing rebuilding years. You have to, okay? You can't go out and and buy $1 billion roster. It's not gonna, it's not gonna happen. Although, people look at the Red Bull organization and go, well, they're $1 billion organization. Yeah, But there's a little entity called Major League Soccer that has historically been slapping the hand every time when Red Bull went out and get said baller. Y'all remember that when when there was a conspiracy theory that turned out to be true, that Red Bull was basically choking their hand every time they wanted to go get guys. That's why they're talking about getting rid of the discovery thing, because it's garbage. I mean, look, I saw that guy, I want him, I want to sign him. Nope. He went to LAFC. What? I mean, but we talked to his agent. We talked to the guy. We had pen to paper. Now he's going to LA. I mean, this is the thing that drove fans nuts, but this is how this league was run. So we got a new commissioner who is, hey, what did you expect when someone who was a former owner now becomes a commissioner? What did you think was going to actually happen, right? He was going to go along with what the owner said, and many of them want some of these rules abolished. Dan, you was about to say something? Hurry up.
Well, I was going to say is I wanted to correct you guys from the last show when you had Jorge on from the Exchange.
Mm-hmm.
Bud Selig was the first former owner to become a commissioner
right.
of a professional sports league.
Yeah, Milwaukee.
He owned the Milwaukee Brewers,
correct.
handing it over to his daughter when he took over as commissioner of Major League Baseball.
That's correct. Absolutely correct. And yep, but some of these things happen. Next week, boys and girls, the one the one and only Nicholas Leanos, and of course Mark Coates will be headlining the show. Because I got to take care of a medical issue, Carlos Cano will be in the captain's chair.
Wait, he's back again?
Yes, he's back again.
What happened? How'd you bribe him?
I didn't have to bribe me. He's a co-producer.
I'm messing around. I like Carlos. You know that.
Okay, Daniel, you've been bouncing around everywhere. You're crazy. You also got hacked for some damn reason. I don't even know how that happened. But tell the good people where they can find you when you are not here.
Okay, well, once again, I write for Bad Dawg Sports, BADDAWG Sports.com, also on beyondthe90.substack.com or .net. I am back on X. Unfortunately, the old one is dead and buried. I could not get it back. I could not save it. So the new handle for me on X/Twitter, capital letter D, capital letter F, _ The Fire, with the capital letter T at the and the capital letter F on Fire. I am also on Blue Sky, so the old one is still there at D Feuerstein, Feuerstein. And also I'm on Instagram. So if you wish to follow me on Instagram, please do so.
Instagram.
Head on over there, and I got some soccer stuff. I got some Knicks stuff. I got some baseball stuff. I got some great stuff. Did you know I was in Tampa for Wrexham and Leeds United for their USA tour at the start at Raymond James Stadium? I finally interviewed the great man of Wrexham, who's their gaffer. Great guy,
Okay. And as they say, episode 181 has now come to an end. Once again, if you have any questions or comments about our show, about everything else, I apologize for the technical issues that we've been having with the Wi-Fi and everything else. But you can reach out to us at NYRBDG, the podcast, at gmail.com. Pretty soon, we're going to have a blog page. It's going to be launched, where most of our episodes are going to be there. And you're also going to reach out to us directly. So once again, new episodes are going to be loaded on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, our home from the very beginning, which is Spotify.com. All the episodes will be uploaded for your listening and viewing pleasure exactly at midnight on Wednesday morning. For Lanre Bradmus, and of course Miguel Nunez, and of course our superstar guest Daniel Feuerstein, I'm Garry Redmond. Thank you for joining us this last hour. We appreciate you. We hear your support, and we hope to see you guys next week. Until then, good night and goodbye for now.